Hey ladies, welcome back to Somebody Come Listen to This podcast. I am your host, Nava. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button on your way in, and let's get into this topic. Today we're going to talk about monogamy and non-monogamy. Lately there's been a lot of men and even some women online talking about how they don't think that men are naturally monogamous. And I personally don't think that human beings or any creatures on the planet are monogamous. If you look at nature, nothing is monogamous. But the way that our patriarchy and our laws have been set up, women have been forced to be monogamous. Not so much men, but women are so much forced into monogamy. I feel like we just feel like it's just natural for us to be monogamous. We've just been taught that. But but what I don't hear a lot of people talking about is polyandry, which is where women have more than one or two men or husbands. So this is a different topic, but we're going to get into these videos and then I'll be back and we'll talk a little bit about polyandry after.
Know that they're not monogamous, or they know that it's not in them. They know this. But because they love this woman and she's been sold the dream of monogamy. Men are very happy not being monogamous, you know.
I agree with
that. They're very happy not being monogamous.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
But
women have been sold the dream of monogamy.
Right.
You lot have been sold it. So we want you, we're like, I love this woman, you know. I love her. I'm going to have to fall in line and get with her. So I'm going to have to lie to her about who I really am. Right? And so now I'm here with you, yeah, baby, smoochy, smoochy, kissy, kissy. But really and truly, I am that guy, but I'm also another guy.
I mean, I do agree with what you're saying. I believe personally that naturally men are not supposed to be with one woman. I don't think that it's a natural thing for men to do. However, like you said, society has shaped us. And if you decide to get into a relationship where you've agreed that you're only sleeping with each other and you're committed to each other, then you should uphold that agreement, okay? But I don't believe that it's a natural thing for men. Hence why,
so you're gonna have to tailor make your next relationship.
Well, yeah, probably I will. But I don't think that. But unless I get with
after, yeah.
Do y'all see how they don't listen to us? Like she was saying, that if you don't want to be monogamous, don't make a commitment and get into a relationship. And then at the end, he cut her off and said, so you're going to have to tailor make your next relationship. No, don't get into a relationship if you don't want to be monogamous with a woman. That's what she was saying. They don't want to just be running around having sex with women because they know that's not going to always work. So they always want that one woman that they can come back to, and that is a constant. And that's why he said that. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to get back into the rest of these videos.
For the most part, men are really not monogamous. It really is on the man. It takes, whatever his personal growth is that puts him in a position to feel like he can be with someone and just that one person forever. But it's very hard. And we need to really have this conversation in a healthy way and stop attacking men for who they naturally are, which is to be polygamous. Men are not naturally monogamous. And I don't want to hear about women can do it too, because I don't believe that. Men can be monogamous, but it should definitely be a choice, and it should definitely be a gift that he hands the right woman. What are your thoughts on that?
And I always expect him to leave. And what happens, Justin? What happens when you tell them the truth?
Bro, for me,
yeah,
one of two things happen. Either they leave and come back in a week,
yeah,
or they just flat out
stay.
Yes. And I'll tell you why, because they know deep down that every man is lying to them, particularly the men that says, oh, I'm going to be monogamous. Every woman knows that any man, if he could at his disposal do that, he would absolutely do it. And what women need to really understand, there's absolutely a huge difference between me being in love with you and sleeping with a woman.
Yes.
I could sleep with 30 women and wouldn't want to hold any of them, take them on vacation, like find out what their dreams were and be a part of making those dreams come true or creating a better life for that individual. Women, I think, associate sex more with love, as they have to.
Of course, for
biologically,
evolutionary reasons, exactly.
But Am I a bad man because I'm telling you the truth and I'm just actually capable?
I just wanted to stop right here and say that women do associate sex with love, and that is one thing that we really need to stop doing, because men have never associated sex with love, and they use the word love to play with our minds and play with our hearts. They use that because they know that we've been indoctrinated to believe that love means something, that word means something, and it does mean something to us, but it has never meant anything to most males. So I think women need to really stop putting so much value on the word love, and stop putting so much value on put more value on your body. Just know that when you give away your body, that doesn't mean that somebody's going to love you more or treat you better or appreciate you more. That's just going to be like, for them, it's just another notch on your belt. And they don't care if you're cute, if you're just mid. That's just another notch, another number that they can say, you know, I collected. I slept with this many women. Because as you can see with these men talking, the more women that they sleep with, the better of a man they think that makes them. But if women have the power to stop sleeping with them, so that will take away all of their power. If y'all just stop sleeping with them, I know it's easier said than done for some of y'all, but for a lot of us, it's just like, duh, it's not that serious. But once you stop and you really realize why they're sleeping with you, why they're even around you, it won't be so hard. It's just, it doesn't mean the same thing to them as it means to us at all. So let's get back into the rest of these videos.
Sleeping with 50 women a year. I'm not about getting married either, but I'm not 50 women a year. A nice 3-girl rotation works good for me. So if you notice, you watch my content now, it's a lot more relationship. And guys say, damn, you make a lot of relationship content. It's not that I'm in a monogamous relationship. I do non-monogamous relationships, but I want to maintain those relationships.
Men don't want to be monogamous. We've already had this discussion. I know some of y'all do. But holistically, like, y'all are in the minority. Seriously. Men don't want to be monogamous. You ask 100 men privately, no one's ever going to know, hey, if you had the opportunity to have your wife and also have a mistress, no one's ever going to find out, would you take that deal? 99.9% of men? Maybe 100%?
The main reason that I like, or you desire monogamy is I like sexual comfortability specifically. So when it comes, and that has to do with my past and traumas and how I have gone through life, I like to know who I'm dealing with, and I'm comfortable in a sexual relationship in that way. So I enjoy monogamy for that. If I had the ability to have that and then have, somebody I could see on the side, would I take it? I mean, I'm still a man. I mean, right now I would probably say, maybe not, right? But after 5 years, I might want to, I'm going to try a little something else on the side. You know what I'm saying? So if I could take the deal, yeah, I'm going to take it. Right? Does that mean I have to exercise it? No. Would I?
Is monogamy a dated practice? Are we here to be monogamous? Like, we're mammals, right? But to think of an idea that we're being morphed to think that we're supposed to be with one person.
Biologically, men are not designed to be monogamous. And I think religion is what suppressed a lot of men into that, and there's historical reasons for it, for the practice of monogamy. But men are designed to spread seed, and so I do believe there's a conversation and a realization that most people are in polygamous relationships right now. You're dating, you're sleeping with different people, you're in polygamy. It is the culture. But I don't fault men for their biological nature. This is proven by science.
Be avoided if we just practice monogamy. Why do you think the natural man can't be monogamous?
It's not meant for him to be. If you understand traditions and customs, only in Europe do Europe teaches and preaches monogamy. But no creature on earth is a monogamous creature. A male creature. Nowhere in history before us were men required to be with just one woman. That's why it's impossible for a man to be with just one woman. It's almost tormenting. A man is tormented. He can't flourish. Nah, homie. If he's bound down like that. Man, some of the most unhappiest men I've ever seen is a man that's trying to fight to be faithful to one woman.
I just want to stop right here again and say these are only conversations that they have with other men, because they know if they have these conversations with women, women will be like, not all men, because women just are delusional. But if they feel this way and they're having these conversations when they're comfortable, it's just safe for women to just automatically assume all men, because there are fine, they don't want to be monogamous, but as a woman, and you know that you're with a man that isn't monogamous, you still have to worry about yourself. You still have to worry about catching diseases and possibly dying from the diseases, possibly having to carry a child by yourself and struggle with a child by yourself. So although I don't believe that anybody is naturally monogamous, I believe this is why women have to be pickier when it comes to choosing men, when it comes to getting pregnant by certain men. I think women have to be pickier because we do have a lot of stuff to worry about that they don't have to worry about. They can just get us pregnant and go on about their lives. I've even seen a lot of them catch certain diseases that are deadly and just go on about their lives and try to take out as many women as possible before they go out. So they don't care. They're worried about their happiness. They're not worried about love. They're worried about getting their needs met. They feel like it's in their nature. Okay, so why don't we just believe them? Why don't we just, whether you decide you want to be in a relationship or not, you need to just listen to them and stop telling them not all men, because you don't know which men. Even if you've been married for decades, you could be married 30, 40, 50 years, and you don't know if you got one of the men that agree with them. He's never going to tell you that. Like, he will never tell you that, and you won't know that unless things start coming out. So women need to really stop being hard-headed. That's one way that we act a lot like men. We act like we don't want to hear them, like they act like they don't want to hear us. We do the same thing to them. We're actually trying to get our point across to them and tell us how we feel and how we think, and they don't want to hear it. Women actually do the same exact thing to them when they are telling us stuff like this, and then women are not, like, especially black women. The black women are like, not all men, that's just black men. I'm going to divest and I'm going to give me a different race of men. But in the meantime, there's other races of women online saying that their men are the exact same way. and that's another issue we have. Women are not listening to other women. So let's get back into the rest of the videos.
Men are not monogamous.
Men are not monogamous. Women are. It's a fact, not an opinion.
Every time I do this message, people think that I have some type of hidden agenda, some type of lustful nature, and they think that I make these messages for the men. But I honestly make these messages for the women, because I truly believe in the scriptures when it says that the truth shall set you free. I want to ask the women, specifically the black women, how many single women do you know? How many single moms do you know? And of all the single women you know, I want you to do a survey in your mind. How many of those women left their men for cheating, or for so-called cheating, because he slept with another woman? Black women, women in general, but specifically the black women. Do me a survey in your head right now. Men, you do it too. Think about how many women you know that are single. I know thousands that are single. And in almost every single case, if not 98%, 99% of them left their husbands, or left their baby's father, or left their children's dad because he so-called cheated. Now, you're telling me that 99% of these relationships, these men are just dogs and they're just lustful and they're just fornicators? Or could it actually be possible that it's in a man's nature to be with more than one woman, specifically these black men? Men are not monogamous.
Biologically, sex is designed for one main purpose: procreation. Anything else, that's extra. The female reproductive cycle comes around once a month. For a man, it's every day. For each sexual act, the woman's one egg is matched by the man's 120 million sperm cells. Now let's do some calculation. 120 million sperm cells a day, every day, as opposed to one egg a month, every month, means, assuming all the cells are viable, that it will take only 30 men to impregnate all the women in the world. This points to one clear fact: a man is, by nature, polygamous. Monogamy and fidelity are unnatural situations promulgated by religious beliefs and social pressures. It's a known fact that women, for the most part, are more emotional than men. So it's natural that after a sexual encounter, she'll be attached. But because a man is visual and logical in nature, there's no emotion involved. For him, it's just a physical release that's got nothing to do with love. It's really quite simple. For a man, the physical and the emotional, two separate entities.
And I'm proving using the Bible. Exodus 21:10. If he marries another woman, he must not deprive the first one of her food, clothing, and marital rights. If he does not provide her with these three things, then she shall go free without any payment. That is straight out of God's laws. A word straight out of God's statutes and his ideals and his commandments. The Lord, the creator of the world, saying to us that if a man takes another woman, obviously telling us that there are going to be men, obviously a majority of them, a lot of them, that are going to take other women. And this is pure proof if you just look at the scientific research on how many black men that you guys are saying are so-called cheating. I don't know a woman right now, and I know thousands of women. I don't know not one woman who is single who did not leave her man for so-called cheating. I'm talking about all of my aunties, all of my cousins. I'm talking about the single women with 3 and 4 kids, baby mamas. I'm talking about cousins, friends, and aunties that are baby mamas. They all left their man for so-called cheating. So obviously there is something in his nature. Oh, Lord, help me preach this thing. Obviously there's something in his nature to make him want another woman. Now listen to this part right here. Please, women, I hope y'all not gone yet. Listen to this part right here. The women left the men. The men didn't leave the woman. I'm talking about almost in every case that I know. Every single woman. They left the man. So wait a minute. He was cheating with another woman, so-called cheating, sleeping with another woman, but he didn't leave you. So obviously he wanted you and her. What is in these men's nature? All of these men we've ever known, the guy that just came out recently, Ume Adoka, you hear about the stories all the time. Why he just didn't leave Nia alone? Why was he sleeping with this woman and want to sleep with her at the same time? And then who left who? Nia alone left him. He didn't leave her. So in every situation that I know, every situation, the man, particularly these black men, are sleeping with their wives or their baby mama, and then they have another chick on the side. And then the baby mama finds out and she leaves him. If he wanted to be with her, why did he just didn't leave you? So obviously he wanted you and her, and there must be something in our nature to make us do this. I'm preaching to somebody right now. Ecclesiastes 3:18. I also said to myself, as for humans, God tests them so that they may see that they are like the animals. Wait a minute. Something in our nature, our natural instincts. You are like the animals. So wait a minute. God said you are like the animals. Why am I like the animals? Because there are almost no monogamous animals on the planet. I'm talking about male animals. The female animals are particularly monogamous. Go look it up. But if you go look up, 99.9% of the male animals on the planet are non-monogamous, whether that be gorillas, lions, tigers, bears, whatever you want to name. The male animals are non-monogamous, but the female animals are monogamous. And God says right here in his word, Ecclesiastes 3:18, that we are just like the animals. Look at this in Job 12:7. This is one of my favorites too. But ask the animals, and they will teach you. Ask the birds in the sky, and they will teach you. Oh, okay, so go ask the animals, and they will teach you your nature. Ask the birds in the sky, they will teach you your nature. What is your nature, black man? Men are not monogamous. Men in general are not monogamous. Leviticus 18:18. Do not take your wife's sister as a rival wife and have sexual relations with her. while your wife is still living. This is stating that you can have a rival wife. It just can't be your wife's sister while your wife is still living. This is crazy. Right? This is God's word. Now, the first thing people are going to say is, I want to dispel a lot of things in this message right here. I talk about this topic frequently because I believe that the truth shall set you free. And I also believe that God's word, his plain text is to be followed no matter how we feel about it. You don't get to take some parts out and put some parts in. You don't get to say, oh, no, the gay marriage probably going to take that part out. Oh, no, I want to eat shrimp, so I'm going to leave that part out. You don't get to take parts and put parts in and take whatever you want to put out, et cetera, et cetera. Also, the New Testament, or the so-called New Testament, and the letters written by Paul in the apostles of the New Testament, those are not God's commandments. Those are advice and commentary on God's commandments. But God's commandments supersedes anything that you read in the New Testament except for Christ. Oh, Lord, we're finna get in that in a minute. So let's start with adultery and fornication, because many of the women are going to say it's adultery and it's fornication to have these ideals or to have these lustful thoughts, or to go sleep with another woman is adultery and it's fornication. Look at this, Isaiah 4:1. In that day, 7 women will take hold of one man and will say, we will eat our own food and provide our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. This is a clear precept to Exodus 21:10. Because Exodus 21:10 says that if a man wants to take multiple women, he has to provide for her food and raiment. Well, Isaiah 4:1 says in the last day, 7 women are going to take hold of one man and say, we got our own food, we got our own raiment, just be with us sexually. And we know this is already happening in the black world of America, because it's happening in places like Atlanta right now, where the women are doing well. The black woman is doing well because the white man has promoted her all over America. So the black woman has food, she has money, she has raiment. She said, look, I don't need no money, I just need you on Tuesday and you can have her on Wednesday and Thursday. That's literally happening in Atlanta right now. So this prophecy literally is unfolding right before your very eyes. So I'm not making them nut. Also, with the whole adultery aspect of it, why would God prophesy about adultery when it's God's laws? God's laws are against adultery. So it can't be adultery for a man to have multiple women, because God wouldn't contradict his own laws. He wouldn't say that, it's adultery, and then say, oh, go sleep with multiple women. That's crazy. And for you to think that is insane. Another point to prove that having multiple women is not adultery and it's not fornication. One point is that God prophesied that it would happen one day. Another point is that God in Exodus 20 says, thou shalt not commit adultery. And in Exodus 21 says that you can have multiple wives. So he wouldn't contradict himself back to back in one chapter, one chapter, and then do it in the next verse. That doesn't make any sense.
And they live in a psychosis of monogamy. These men are not monogamous.
Another pure proof point that having multiple women is not adultery is that Christ describes heaven in Matthew 25. Christ describes the kingdom of heaven in Matthew 25:1 as a man having multiple women. It says that then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened to 10 virgins which took their lamps.
So obviously the Bible was set up to make women just take anything from men. That's pretty much what he's saying. As a woman, you should know, because the Bible says that we as men should be allowed to run around and cheat on you as much as we want, and you should be okay with it. No matter if you're going to be in danger because of diseases, or if the woman that we cheat on you with, we lied to, and she's mad about it and she comes and takes you out. No matter how you feel about me cheating, you might get mad enough to take the woman out. Like, obviously, this is in their nature because the Bible says so. So y'all should just accept it. Ladies, this is what we're going up against. Like, the Bible is patriotic and it's telling these men that they can go against the sin that the Bible says is sin, and because it's in their nature. It's telling them it's in your nature, but it's not in her nature. Y'all don't have the same feelings and thoughts and all of that, so y'all can do what y'all want to do, and women just have to be pure and wait on you to come back and finish sinning, and then she should just be here and be chaste and pure and just for you, and wait for you to bring back any diseases or have outside babies and break her heart. Women have to bear the brunt of all of this. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I was a Christian for a decade of my life, and then I actually started reading the Bible. Like, because as we all know, most Christians do not actually read the Bible for themselves, but if they did, they would see that most of the stuff in it is crazy. I also tried to be a Hebrew Israelite for about 2 months. I joined one of their camps 3 times, and then after that I was like, oh no, they hate women, they really hate women. So I did not go back. So among some other stuff, I work with a lot of them, and so after I stopped attending their congregation, they stopped talking to me and everything. A few of them tried to ask me why, and I told them, like, yeah, y'all don't like women, so I left. Like, so if y'all are sitting in these churches and y'all hear these men up here talking about what women should be doing for men, and y'all are noticing that it's mostly women in these churches looking for a husband still, y'all need to run. I'm telling y'all now, as probably some Christians listen to me, I'm sure it is, because a lot of black women are Christians. But the more and more you listen to this type of content, you're going to see that these churches don't like women at all. Mostly women tithe because it's mostly women that are in the churches. But y'all need to really start reading y'all Bibles. I left not because of this, but I originally left because of the whole tithing thing when I started reading the Bible. But after I left, it's so much more that I learned. But that's another video. So let's get back into the videos.
Fellow women, today I'm gonna come at you with some hard truths and sort of give you advice on something that, like, I feel may make some of us uncomfortable. Like, it's just we've never really accepted this as a fact, but the fact is that monogamy in straight relationships just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. And I think that's why so many of our relationships fail and fall apart. And, we see our men get frustrated. It's because we're still clinging on to monogamy, that a person should only be with one person forever, which is like, it's so ridiculous. And in turn, it makes us put a lot of stress on the men that we're with romantically to be everything for us. And that's why I advocate for the fact that a woman should have at least 2 boyfriends, at least. Like, if you're dating men, there should be 2 of them, just for the health of the relationship, right? Because instead of stressing one person out, you can then split up the stress, split up the things that are frustrating you, delegate and see who can fix what, so that you're not so stressed and you're not as, like, naggy or just shouty in the relationship, right? And that in turn will keep the men happy. Because there's also a huge issue, like, in terms of expectations put on men in terms of, like, money as well. We hear them complain about it. Our brothers always complaining that we're expecting too much of them financially. If there were 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, like, I'm sure they could pool money together and everyone would be happy in the relationship, right? So I'm just trying to bring forth a suggestion that I think will really help us out. We're going to end up seeing more marriages than we've been seeing in our communities because of this strategy, right? And also another thing that's like a bit is how, in general, men orgasm way more than women do. So again, like, we're outsourcing, we're delegating in terms of that as well, where, if performer number 1 didn't do so well, your night doesn't have to end. You can have performer number 2, fix things up, encourage performer number 1 too. Like, it's just, that's the thing. And, like, for me, my limit is 2, because I don't like men that much, but I feel like women have so much love to give that it doesn't make sense to only have one male partner, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. They know it doesn't make sense. You can get different types of partners and pull them together, because one man can't be everything. So you can get a romantic partner, a more logical partner, to make this union make sense. Because I'm tired of seeing our relationships fall apart. I'm tired of seeing my straight girlies crying. So that's my suggestion, that, let go of...
What about the masculine man who struggles to stick to one woman? Well, these are the facts. Although men do value pair bonding, the biology of the masculine is designed for mass reproduction. So that's why there would be a struggle. And it's interesting because if you look around, few men or women seem to live up to these standards of monogamy that society pushes. But what I would say is that if you're a man of quality up here, you shouldn't really see it as a reason to go around trying to smash every chick that you can, simply because it's a waste of time and energy that could go towards building an empire. And my belief is that you shouldn't promise anything if it's something that you can't live up to. And definitely do not lie because you take away the woman's consent to agree to what's going on or whatever she's comfortable with. Be a man and keep it real. No deception, no lies, just honesty. Whatever you want to do, let her know what it is if she's going to be with you. If you don't agree with what society says it's supposed to be, just propose whatever it is that fulfills your needs. If you're transparent, she gets to choose if she wants to stay or walk away. And that way, if you give her freedom of choice, you'll always have her respect. Because in a world where the majority of men lie, you will be a standout
I
guy.
think monogamy is a fair system for men, but the issue is men require monogamy from women. A man might not be monogamous, but he wants you to only be with him. And I think the only way it will really work is like the same way the kings had it. Like the king had his wife and had his, 50 concubines. That's how I honestly think.
You think that men should be allowed to have as many women as they want, but women should be loyal to their one man?
If he's making that clear, yes.
Monogamy was invented by men. Men need monogamy.
Because they wanted to, was it because the average man wanted to have a beautiful woman?
No.
Why was it?
No. Monogamy is necessary because if you say we're going to develop a polygamous community, well, what happen is what the women will do, because women, we are genetically wired to want to procreate with the biggest, strongest, richest man. This is embedded in us. It's nothing anyone can play God to say that I'm not like that. Yes, you are, sis. God made you that way. And it's for a reason. It's how you keep the human race going. Not all men are meant to be carried on. Some are meant to die out. And they're like,
only animal on the planet, I think with the exception of penguins, that practice monogamy. So it's interesting. Monogamy is not necessarily in our coding. We all are bound somewhat by our DNA. For most of human history, there was not a concept of pair bonding. There was not a concept of getting married. So we gotta look at it like this. They say modern humans have been on this planet around 300,000 years, right? We've only been quote unquote civilized for around 5,000 years. And you could look back 100 years where people really civilized, you know what I'm saying? Like we were slaves. So you see like how short of a period people have been like nice to each other. The concept of marriage, it wasn't necessarily a romantic thing. It was like a property thing. And that's what women essentially were to an extent. It was ownership. It's like my woman, like that comes from something.
I don't know any guy that doesn't cheat on his girl. I don't know any guy that is only effing his girl. I've met men who make 100K to 24K to own their own ish, to Christian, Catholic, whatever you want to call it. Most men are going to cheat or lie about it. Or, well, cheating is lying. So most men are not going to be honest 100% about it. But most men are going to cheat. And I know this because I'm a man that talks to men. And I know this because your men are lying to you, okay? Most men don't want one woman ever. Monogamy is a global lie. It's not true. Most men are going to cheat on you. This is why if you ask your BF right now, hey, do you want a threesome? He's going to say yes. If he's so loyal and he only wants to smash you, why is he always going to agree to a threesome? Because he wants to smash other women. He just either can't attract them or he just wants to keep you and not lie. Or he probably sucks and is going to get caught like most men. But monogamy is like the biggest lie ever. It's just a lie that I won't participate in. Like I would never tell a girl, hey, I'm only going to be smashing you. I would tell her, hey, I'm only going to be like providing for you, but I'm going to be smashing you.
Comes with polygamy from what you've seen.
The responsibility that comes with polygamy, right, is being the caretaker of 2-3 households, having to manage 3 women's, multiple women's finances,
fully,
lifestyle, children. That's a lot of responsibility that I don't think when men talk about polygamy today or any type of poly, they're just thinking about their sexual pleasure. And I don't think that people really understand the whole concept. Like, it's deeper than that. You got to be well off to even subscribe to that lifestyle for it to make sense for you, at least.
You got to be well off. It's a rich man's sport.
Yeah. A powerful man's sport.
Poly goes wrong.
I told y'all, no, I'm not paying for both of y'all. I told y'all already, I'm not paying for both of y'all. There's got to come some kind of understanding, some kind of agreement. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all, like, I'm paying for your bills and I'm paying for your bills. I'm not gonna pay for both of y'all, but we're gonna have to live together. We're gonna move in together.
I'm down at all. You're down.
She down, yeah.
She could be down. I'm not down for that.
We've been talking about this. I'm saying, like, I'm spending a lot of money on both of y'all.
It's nails.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying, like, I can't keep spending all this money on your nails, your hair, and everything if you don't want to commit and live together.
But that was your decision. I'm not going to share with nobody.
You already sharing already.
I'm not moving in with y'all. Why? I'm not moving in with y'all.
You already know I mess with you and I mess with her. You already know this already. So what's the problem? Is she making sense? Is she not making sense?
Okay with everything like it ain't nothing.
Yeah, she okay with it.
When poly goes wrong, how you trying to have multiple women and you ain't got no money for nails? Somebody go get it.
So they've been begging me to talk about polygamy, right? And I seen a post, I think earlier with Nick Cannon and Dr. Umar, where they basically praised polygamy and they tried to give it this breakdown like women initiated polygamy, and they did, which is a historical fact. But what they did not tell you is, and the part that you probably skipped over, is most of these men were successful, most of these men were wealthy, but the main reason why they introduced polygamy into households is because men were going to war and dying, and they wanted to make sure that they could at least have one husband for the wives and to continue to procreate, because people were dying at a high rate. But the main word was success. A lot of y'all want to be polygamous in poverty. You want to have multiple wives and you can't afford one. You want to be with multiple women and you can't even hold down the one that you have. There is no way that we can't figure it out with two people and we want to add a third and fourth party to the equation, and now we struggling as four people. Polygamy is a rich man's game. Cheating is a rich man's game. Multiple partners is a rich man's game. See, you're able to overlook shit when you're sitting in a Ferrari. You start to really analyze shit when you in a Honda Accord.
One of my followers asked me what I thought about polygamy. And here's what I would share with you all on that. You know, everybody listen. Your thing is your thing. Whatever you decide to do with your life, you decide to do with your life. But I'm just giving my opinion on it, all right? Let's be clear. But here's what I think about polygamy in America. Number one, for the black community, polygamy will not work. Let me tell you why, baby. Because polygamy was designed in other cultures. If you look back in the history books, the men in polygamy could afford the damn wives. So, bitch, how in the hell a black man gonna get two? If anything, baby, black women can afford two or three. Baby, I can afford a butler and a pool boy, all right? Don't let that shit push that shit on y'all if y'all want to. Bitch, that's a broke man's agenda in America. And furthermore, baby, they can't even afford to spend time with the goddamn children that they got, let alone two wives or three. So please tell me, baby, how can a black man in America have two wives when the black women are the most stable in the community with two or three children? Bitch, I can rap up by three. Hey, y'all don't let them goddamn people put that agenda on y'all. I ain't saying nothing about sexually neither. Cause bitch, half of y'all can't pump but 3 times and tell me you want 2 or 3 wives. You better get out of here. Let's be clear.
So people are out here talking about polyandry, which is the practice of a woman. It's the opposite of polygyny. It's the practice of a woman having multiple men to marry and to mate with. And so I'm going to get into some of these videos about what polyandry is. But me personally, I don't want to be polygynist or polyandrist. I would rather just be alone. I'm a Virgo. I don't want to deal with all the personalities. And even if you're in a polyandrist or a polygamous relationship, I still think that men are not going to get enough, and they're still not going to be honest, and they're still going to want to cheat. And some women will too. And people will still end up getting, diseases or these men or women sometimes get jealous, and people are still going to be getting taken out over things. It's still going to be a lot as long as you're dealing with people. It's so much to be worried about when you're sexually involved with other people. So me, myself, I would rather just be alone and to protect my peace. Of course, if you're polyandrous and you're really doing it the right way, or if you're a polygamist and you're really doing it the right way, it may be able to work. But I don't think that the way that people's minds are so messed up right now that nobody would do anything correctly and be honest about what they're doing. And people are so greedy and always want more. You know, people always feel like they need to lie because it makes stuff more exciting for them, I guess. But me, myself, I just would rather be alone because I'm not good with dealing with all these different personality types. But I will get into these videos of the ladies, and a few men are talking about what it's like to be polyandrous.
Let's say. Yes, well, the conditions under which it occurs are typically where one man cannot support a whole family. So if there's a large field and one man can't support a wife and children, then it will be two men. So the polyandrous mating is almost entirely brothers. And that genetic relatedness helps to ease what normally would be a pretty intense jealous reaction to someone else sharing a sex partner, someone else having sex with your wife. In the
12th year of our marriage, Carl and I decided that I was going to have multiple partners because I had met and fallen for another guy. So I came back and reported that to Carl.
So we decided to talk about it. Like, what do we do? How do we go about this? And that began a 2-year journey of Kenya and I just kind of discussing things. We just had to figure things out. So we discussed it for a number of years. I finally came into the knowledge and understanding about feminine, expression, and realized you have to allow women to be free and express themselves. And as a man, I need to support her in doing that.
I met Tiger at a Halloween party. He was dressed as Tiger Woods, and he was looking hot and sexy.
Well, I came out and had a dance with you, so we had a nice little romantic, slow dance. It was real nice.
Yes.
And so I decided, I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to see where this leads to.
Right. So those just go right up there, and then the green painting goes in the center.
All right.
I'm super multifaceted. It feels like Carl fits one part of who I am, philosophical and spiritual, and we have these deep conversations. And then the other part is like thrill-seeking, excitement, traveling, and that's who Tiger fits. But I'm both of those people in one body. So I like to have those multiple partnerships.
Is it one nail for each painting?
It's probably going to be two. Let's do the big painting first.
We're all basically trailblazers in this way. And we all support each other. And that's why I'm so ready to support Tiger and Kenya whenever they need support in their relationship or anything else.
I think a lot of what people see on a day-to-day is kind of like the whys. Why would anybody do that? Why would that man invite you?
Look, I'm not asking why no more. I don't care what people do. I'm just protecting my peace. If this lady wants to have 2 dungalings or 3 dungalings, that's what she can have. But what I'm telling y'all is protect your peace. Do what you want to do, because you see these men are out here, they're going to do what they want to do. They're telling you they're not monogamous, they're not going to be monogamous. Do what you want to do, but whatever you're doing, have your own money, have you a pew-pew, have you different weapons hid around your house just in case you need them, just in case he flips on you or his side chick flips on you. If you want to deal with multiple men or even one man, y'all better be ready for the repercussions. I'm being dead serious. Like, y'all better think about anything that could ever go wrong. You always have to have money. You always have to have weapons. You always have to be ready to make moves. So if there are still going to be women out here making choices to be with men or be with multiple men, y'all need to do what you need to do to protect yourself and protect your peace. If this is what is making this lady happy, I'm not going to judge her. She can do what she wants to do. But let's get back into the video.
Why would anybody do that? Why would that man invite you into his house and have you with his wife? Why? It's a benefit to have another person there. It's a benefit to have somebody that you can kind of relate to, that you can trust, versus just having some random person come in
or cheating,
just
lying, hiding, sneaking.
It really adds a lot of serenity to the home.
A lot of guys that I meet are, I always start out by telling guys that I meet, I already am in 2 long-term marriages.
How do they react to that?
Most react well. Oh, I'm dating because I'll always be dating. It's just fun. What can I say? It's hard to explain this because it feels like this is not rocket science. We all love attention, energy, relationships, and love.
There is nothing special about a man marrying many women, but the reverse polyandry is unheard of in the mainly patriarchal society. However, things are beginning to change with stories of women with multiple husbands emerging. This woman has become famous in this area. She is a mother of 2 children, has 3 husbands, and all live in the same house. My name is Nelly. I work as a car dealer. I get them from Dubai and sell them in my country. I had a husband with whom we were together for 8 years who was in a car accident and died after we had 2 children. I was single before I lived with her. I had just finished my studies and couldn't find a job. Then I met her. She gave me strength, and she showed me that life goes on and that I could live well again. Since then, I started to love her. She also loved me, so she brought me home. And finally, she told me that this was her house. She told me the truth that she has 2 other men. For a moment, it scared me that it might cause chaos and war in her home. But these men came and welcomed me, and we started living like that from that time to this day.
Okay, me and Jimmy.
My name is Jimmy, and I am Nelly's husband. It wasn't easy at first. I remember the first time we met. I had much stress caused by love. She found me where I was sitting alone and asked me to talk, so we started talking and sharing a drink. I told her all my problems, and she told me about her life. That day we went our different ways, but we continued to be friends. Later I managed to accept her in my life and her history, and she accepted me in her life and my history. My name is Hassan, and I am Nelly's husband. After my elder brother died, I remained here to look after the children he had with Nelly, because she did not have time to take care of the children. She was always working. So then, as I continued to live here, she loved me. I loved her. So we decided to live as husband and wife. After that, she brought other men. So we all live here without any problems and love each other. In this house, the woman is the one who takes care of her men because she is the one who has a permanent job. However, when the men find a job, they work. Currently, I have no job. There is nothing I would want she wouldn't give me if she could. I have my own nice car, I sleep in a lovely room, and I have a nice phone. As for intimate time, we have no problem. As a man with many wives' plans, so do we. We are happy with it. We don't have any problem, because we're all her men, and we've never met in the bedroom at the same time yet, and she satisfies all of us. Some people say she brought these men because maybe after her husband died, her brother did not satisfy her in bed. Hassan told us this is false. I am not saying that maybe she brought other men because I didn't satisfy her, because she never said that to me. It was difficult to accept when she brought another man because I was the first one to live with her after her first late husband, my elder brother. May God grant him eternal rest. When she saw that I was jealous, she approached me and talked to me. I don't know how she did it. I found myself calm and finally accepted it until she brought a third man. So now we all live in peace, and I would be okay if she got a fourth man. Nelly does not say the main reason why she wanted more men. Some people in this area say that it might be because of her great love for her husband who passed away, which might have caused her trauma. She wanted more men because she was afraid of losing a husband again and wanted more so that if one died, others would remain. Our life is normal. It is no surprise that we are 3 men married to 1 woman. After all, we live well, so I don't see any problems with sharing a woman with other men. It's the same as the husband who brings many women into the house, and they live well and even provide for them all. She is also a woman with the right to have more than 1 husband. Living with 3 men makes me feel very happy, and I can confirm that my men are also happy because they have everything they want. And I'm sure they wouldn't cheat on me because I believe I satisfy their needs. If any of them asks for something, I give it to him because they're often unemployed, yet I have a permanent job. In brief, they will not miss anything in this house as long as I'm capable. I bought each of them their own car and many other things. We are a happy family. In Tibet, due to the small land for cultivation, it has decided to reduce the birth rate. Many men should marry one woman, which prevents each man from trying to find a wife to marry, which helps them to have fewer children. Nellie and her 3 husbands have been together in the same house for 3 years, but none have had children with her. As it is understood, it is not something these men planned to implement, but now they live in peace with their wife, and they're all
Let me tell y'all something. Practicing polyandry is probably one of the most revolutionary things a black woman can do. And it's mainly because we're basically in a gender war right now. So black men and black women aren't seeing eye to eye. We can't agree on how we should date each other, and it's causing a huge divide. So when a black woman decides that she wants to be polyandrous and she wants to date more than one black man at a time, y'all need to see it for the blessing that it is. She's actually saying that living up to the standard of masculinity that has been set by the patriarchy is harming you, and you don't have to do it anymore.
This woman is married to these 2 brothers. When a woman is married to multiple men, it's called polyandry. And when it's brothers, it's fraternal polyandry, and it's a marriage system that is exceedingly rare in the world. However, it's not rare in the Himalayas because fraternal polyandry offers a solution to a major problem that they face, and that is limited land that can actually be lived on. So the first solution is that since the 2 husbands are marrying one woman, the land that belong to their father doesn't have to be split amongst the sons, which means that they still have a full plot of land inherited by them. The second solution being that one woman to multiple men means that the population grows much slower. There is also the added benefit that each husband can have his own economic activities like farming, herding, or trade, which brings more wealth to the family for the children. This is part of my Pride Month series where we're looking at all the different ways that gender and sexuality can be presented throughout the world, so like and follow for more.
So I've been watching this show on TV about polyandry relationships, which is a woman in a relationship with 2 men. And she's like really in a relationship, they live together and everything. Now I've never dated 2 guys at the same time, never even been interested in that, never cared about that. However, well, let me say this. I do, if I had to choose, just give me one husband. That's all I want. However, I'm not against this completely. I mean, just think, men can relate to this. Y'all know how y'all say, you know, you might be dating 2 girls and this one might be good at this one might be good at that, and you wish you can put them together. That's where my mind is. Women, we don't usually think about that. We don't think like that. But I was just thinking like, that might work. I'm just saying. Could you imagine being catered to by 2 men? Not even about just being catered to, but one might be good at maybe, you know, talking to you about something. One may be a handyman, or I don't know. I love a man to cook for me. I don't know. Maybe one might be a good cook. I don't know. But to live together in one house, and now they're not supposed to touch each other. At least according to the show that, one that I watched, it didn't look like they were, because I'm into men, so I want 2 manly men. So, I mean, if I went that route. Like I said, I'm not completely against it, but I don't know. I probably could do that. What y'all think? Would you? And not only that, any candidates out there? I mean, I'm just, I'm something to think about. So let me know.
So yeah, ladies, that is what polyandry is, and y'all can have it. Y'all can have it all. Y'all can have polygyny, polyandry. You can have all the G's and E's. Y'all can have it all. Like I said, I am protecting my peace no matter what state I am in. This is all too much for me. And I don't have too much else to say about the subject. One thing I hate is to hear broke men talking about being polygamous, about having more than one woman. I just hate it. And I think it would be vice versa for me. If it was even women who were working and having multiple men, like this just annoyed me. Like, the men are not working and doing anything, and she's working and taking care of multiple men instead of just taking care of one man. If that's what brings y'all peace, and if that's what y'all want to do, they look like they're at peace. So I'm not going to judge this woman if she wants to take care of 3, but I'm not going to call them no names, but if she wants to take care of them, let that lady live her life. So get down in the comments and tell me, would you ever think about being polygamous, or polyandrous? It's so many polyandrous. It's polygyny and polygamy. Somebody tell me what's the difference between polygamy and polygyny. Those are 2 different words, and I know that they mean 2 different things. I think so. Get down in the comments and tell me what they mean, because I do not know, and maybe I need to do a video on that also. But like, comment, and subscribe, ladies, if you haven't, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.